Hey now, what is up, good people? Let me know down in the comments if you can hear me, because I can't check it myself. So just let me know. Sherry, did you change the time? I could have sworn I saw 4. Sherry, 4 o'clock this afternoon, I did a brand new video. Thank you, Lynn. All right, good. If you can hear me. I thought I wasn't going to have power there for a little bit. We just had a huge hailstorm come through here. And so I got a bunch of comments and stuff that I hadn't responded to. So I'm gonna get to that after I finish this live later on. But we had a huge hailstorm come through, and I was running out, and I mean it was pretty rough. So anyway, happy Thursday, everybody. Let me know in the comments too if you got a 3-day weekend coming up. So I don't. So it's one thing about owning your own business is you pretty much work all the time. So, but hopefully a lot of you got a 3-day weekend. So that's awesome. Kathy said, I waited yesterday from 7:10 till about 7:40 when I realized it was Wednesday, not Thursday. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to try to do every Thursday now, 7:30. And, I just want to throw out a surprise video because I was excited about all this pumpkin stuff. Starbucks came out with their pumpkin spice latte this last week, so I figured I needed to go ahead and put my recipe out there. And I got a killer pumpkin recipe for Saturday. Whether you like pumpkin or not, you're gonna love this. But anyway, so yeah, Thursday night 7:30. That's what it is. And then every once in a while, if I get crazy like that, I'll throw out a video on Thursday afternoon too. So, and hey, Lynn, Carolyn said, yeah. Yes, after 20 minutes, you figured out it was the wrong day. I got you. So if you haven't seen this Starbucks pumpkin spice latte video, I actually got a hot one tonight because I was freezing to death from this hailstorm and all this rain we got dumped on me. So I'm having a hot coffee tonight, which has been 97 here. So haven't been having much hot stuff, but tonight after running out and get soaking wet in the rain, I needed something warm. So hey Sav, greetings from Naperville, Illinois. How's the weather up there? I hope it's a little cooler than it is here, that's for sure. So Sandy cookbook, yes. Yeah, my plans are, and I actually talked to somebody that wants to do photos and everything for me because I'm not the best at the photos. So I do my best, and I think I'm getting better at it. I'm trying. But I talked to somebody that does photos the other day, and she wants to help me put together the cookbook. I'm hoping to have it out sometime next year. I really want to go through and do that and kind of, I want to not just recipes, but like have kind of the stories behind everything and my story and, things like that. So I want to kind of go through and take some time with it and make it really good when it comes out. I just don't want to throw one out there just to throw it out there. A 365-day weekend, retired early. Well, good for you. Good for you. I hope I'll get to retire one day, but gotta do something to stay busy. So hopefully this channel is it one day. That's the plan right now, anyway. Marianne, hello. Every night's a Friday night. Yep, good for you. Oh, yeah. GNR, yep. Yeah, they're one of my favorites. I mean, I grew up listening to them and still love them. I went to see them when they kind of halfway reunited a few years back. And hey, it was still awesome. I still enjoyed it. I mean, not quite as good as they once were, but they were still awesome. So Timeless Jewel, I made a pumpkin spice bread today. I bet that was good. Did you use my pork rind bread recipe for that? I gotta experiment with some of those like zucchini breads and pumpkin breads and stuff like that. My wife wanted to do a banana bread with it, so we're gonna try that at some point using that banana extract they use for that banana pudding, and I think it'll come out real good. Yes, Lynn. I was planning on having a cold one, but yeah, I couldn't I couldn't do an iced coffee after running out in the pouring rain and hail. So this is a hot one. And just so y'all know, Clemson playing tomorrow night against Georgia. Football season is back. So look for some good recipes, because one thing I love is some good football food. I got a wing recipe coming out. The way I do wings now, I got this Typher air fryer. It makes it a whole lot easier to do the wings, but I do them in the oven too. I mean, you can do them any way if you don't have that air fryer, but that just made it a whole lot easier than having to cook in so many batches, as I like to make. So anyway, that's coming out with some good football food, just good snack food recipes coming out since it's football season again. Let's see. Hey, from Florida. Hey, Tuesday Elder. I hope, although I feel like it's probably not, it may be a little warmer down there than it is here, but as weird as the weather's been, I wouldn't be surprised if it's cooler down there than it is up here. We were at 97 today with high humidity. So, I mean, I was sweating as soon as I walked out the door this morning. Thomas Jules, it was 115 with humidity here in Chicago a few days ago. 89 today and humid. That's just miserable. I mean, 115 is different. Like, I've been out to Vegas and things like that, and they say like it's a dry heat and whatever. I mean, it's still smoking hot, but you add that humidity in with it, and that's crazy. I can't imagine 115 with humidity. 89 and humid is bad enough. So, hey, Sandy. Hey, Donna. Glad you made it. Tony, I need to hear the yellow mixing bowl story. Add that to your cookbook. I definitely will. If you don't know the story of the yellow mixing bowl, watch my old biscuits and gravy recipe. It's probably over a year or so old, and that kind of tells the story of it a little bit. But in the cookbook, I'll expand on it a little bit. It's just kind of a joke, But that yellow mixing bowl's got quite a history. So anyway, love the T-shirt. Used to bartend for the band Disturbed and Enough's Enough many years ago. Hey, Enough's Enough was a great band that not a lot of people knew about. That's really cool that you mentioned them. Fly High Michelle, and there's some good stuff. Yeah, long ago, I used to sing in a rock band, so that was my genre right there. So I know a lot of those kind of bands and stuff, and we did some good old rock and roll, and I did some solo stuff there for a while, but hadn't done anything other than around the campfire in quite a while. So, hey, Melody, over in Colorado. I know it's got to be cooler in Colorado than it is here. At least I hope so. And Thomas, I use pork panko. Yes, awesome. So that's a good. I've found out, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of this. I've found out that if you get a good pork rind, and not necessarily the most expensive, you don't even have to get the most expensive, but just a pork rind that's just salt and relatively fresh, you really don't taste it. Like, you can substitute that for almond flour, and you really don't taste it a whole lot. So I'm doing a whole lot more of the substituting pork panko for almond flour now. And I know there's a lot of people that don't do almond flour because of oxalates or whatnot. And you can substitute like sunflower seeds, and crush those up into a flour as well. If you can't have the almond, but man, that pork panko is working real good. So I've got some good stuff coming with that too that I've been working on. I made your coconut cake for my husband's birthday. It was so good, and he loved it. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you making that. That was one of the first things that I wanted to try with the cottage cheese, and it came out really good. And so I enjoyed it. I've kind of enjoyed using that as an ingredient. So I've been working on some different things with that, and it's pretty good. Hey, Mary, first timer. Well, I appreciate you being here. Hello from Shingletown, California. Hey, Jill. Yep, Mary made it. Donna, I got 4 of the 5-ounce bags of pork rinds. I'm going to grind my own so I have some to coat and bread some chicken too. Absolutely. Or some okra, or some, you can bread all kind of stuff with it. That and the Parmesan cheese. like the okra video or zucchini, or I mean, you can do so much with those pork rinds. And got a couple different breadings, for different things. Country fried steak one's a totally different one than the okra, which is different. So yeah, I got a lot of different breadings that you can use, and it's really good. Hey Paula, good to see you here. Nice bunch and fun conversation. I'm really thinking on that air fryer. Yeah, that air fryer is good. If you don't, the one I like the best, and I've had a ton of air fryers over the years. Probably my third favorite now is the Ninja, because it's like a dual zone, so you can cook two different things at one time. That's the one that's always like when I do my intros and stuff. That's always the one we keep sitting in the kitchen, because like my son, when he's up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning making fries and stuff, he can throw a handful of fries in one of those baskets and cook it up. So that's the one we use. But that Typher one is my favorite, but it's big, so that's the reason I like it so much. Is it's huge and you can cook a lot in it. And then my second favorite is that Tasty Kitchen one, just because it's got the probe in it. So I get a lot of like messages and stuff and emails also, and a lot of people are new to either cooking in general or keto or carnivore cooking, and they're always talking about how they mess up meat and stuff. So either getting an air fryer with a probe like that one, or getting your own probe, whether there's that one from Typher that I used, or just getting one that you can get like at Walmart or whatever. It has the cord that you can stick in there so that you can check the temperature. That's really, and until you learn exactly how the meat needs to be and how long it's going to take to cook and what it should look like or how it should feel if you press on it, that's a really good way to make sure that it's not overdone or underdone. It comes out perfect, and then everybody's going to love it. So, so that one's just built into the air fryer, which is super easy. Or whatever air fryer you get, just get a temperature thing just for the meat and stuff, because every one of those air fryers are different. When I go from one to the other, it's even different. So, just get that temperature thing. What is your go-to? I am too lazy to cook meals. So like an easy recipe, our go-to is probably, well, I don't know what you mean, like a full meal. But we do that pizza that I just put the video out for that uses the cottage cheese crust a couple weeks ago. We make that at least once a week now. The tortilla foldovers we do a good bit, because you can either make the Philly cheesesteak ones, you can do meatball, you can do all kind of stuff with those foldovers, and I've done a couple of videos about those. But basically, I mean, you just get those low carb tortillas at Aldi or whatever kind of low carb tortilla you can find, and in the video I just show you how we kind of cook them up. But you can throw whatever you need in there. You can do tacos with them. Just cook the meat and cheese inside there, and then load it up with lettuce, tomato, salsa or whatever. Those are super easy. So those are probably a couple of my favorites. Just tacos in general are super easy, or just throw some burgers on. I mean, there's nothing easier than that. So let's see. Couldn't resist making a lemon pun. It just squeezed out of me. Well, yeah, my birthday is tomorrow. My wife is making me that lemon dessert. Is her like specialty that she made me make, which is probably my biggest video so far, or it is my biggest video so far. So she asked me what I wanted, she wanted to make a keto cake or whatever. I'm like, no, you make the lemon dessert. I ain't gonna make it this time. So, so anyway, that's what I'm getting tomorrow. Hey, Carrie, call another live. Yeah, Carrie, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hi, Victor. I'm from Kansas City, and I have a question. Does allulose cause weight loss stalls? I have not heard of allulose causing weight loss stalls. I would recommend you check your glucose. It's a rare thing. Now, Dr. Berry talks about this a little bit, about some people even getting a sweet taste in their mouth. It'll kind of interrupt their metabolism. I haven't really found that myself. In fact, allulose will lower blood sugar in a lot of people. There's been a few studies done about that. It actually helps metabolic function in some cases. And so I would say probably not. It may be something that you're adding in with the allulose. Like if you're making something with almond flour, maybe it's too many carbs for you. That's why I like that Keto Mojo, like I recommended somebody last week, or just a blood glucose monitor and just check your blood sugar an hour after you eat and 2 hours after you eat, just to make sure it's not spiking your blood sugar up way too high. Or if you can check your ketones with like that Keto Mojo. I've got that. I need to make a video about that thing because I've got it downstairs. I've used it. I don't really use it much anymore, but I used it religiously for a long time just to know exactly how many carbs I could have and still be in ketosis. And you can check your blood sugar with it. But I'd say either check your ketones, make sure you're still in ketosis, or check your blood sugar and make sure that it doesn't have that effect on you like what Dr. Berry talked about with just a taste of sweet, kind of messing with your body and your metabolism, everything. It hasn't for me, but it's not to say, I mean, I haven't seen any reports of that or evidence of that. Allulose is one of the ones that is probably the best sweetener, in my opinion. I just like that Magic Baker because it's a blend of erythritol and the allulose and the stevia, and so it just has like a balanced flavor. Where if you have one, like if you just have erythritol, it's real like cooling and it's just a different taste. So I like to kind of have a blend of all of them. Fly High Michelle. Yeah, that was a good song. Oh, Donna, so sorry. I'll have to go back and watch the 4 p.m. video. I will though. Yeah, that's so I did this this hot Starbucks pumpkin spice latte copycat, and I did a iced one also, but I'm having to have the hot one today. Donnie and the boys, they were a trip. Yep. Good band. You can't take people for granted if they're in rock band. You are full of the jokes. Rock band health coach, you've done it all. I have done a lot of stuff in my life. And now my business is pressure washing, and I was in the car business for a little while. So yeah, I've done quite a bit of stuff. Yeah, hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Let YouTube know that you like this, and maybe they'll find some people out there that like it too. So that'd be awesome. Brevard, North Carolina is represented. Well, howdy, neighbor. Yeah, you're not too far up the road from me. Donna, I didn't think about the okra. I had a couple of tablespoons of oat fiber too, or bamboo fiber to help dry it. I'm interested in that air fryer too. Yeah, I've been pondering this oat fiber thing. I really hate using a lot of kind of different ingredients. I like to use stuff that everybody can find in the grocery store. But I've also really been wanting to make like a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie. And so I feel like the way to get that oat taste without any carbs would be oat fiber. But I just kind of hesitate. I kind of hesitate to do things like that because I don't want people to go out and have to buy, 82 ingredients to put something together. But, if I could figure out a way to do that where the oat fiber was kind of the only exotic ingredient, I guess you'd say, I'd kind of be down to try that. Just thought it was awesome. You get to serve some bands. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I mean, the rock guys are really cool. I've met, I've met Bret Michaels from Poison. I've met Jesse James Dupree. Let's see, who else have I met? Those are probably the biggest two that like I was really, really fans of. Met some smaller bands, Truth and Salvage Company, Donovan Frankenreiter, Devin Allman, a bunch of guys like that. So I've met a few and they're all, they're also down to earth. They're just cool people, and they'll hang out and just have a good time. So it's a lot of fun. What are your favorite Tuesday Elder? What are your favorite freezer staple items? Well, I would say my number one freezer staple item is I go and hit all the deals every week at the grocery stores to get meat. So, like, I know I've talked to the butchers at every single grocery store that I shop at, which is primarily Aldi. Aldi's always got good prices, but they never have any meat, hardly ever. Maybe lamb that they'll put like 50% off if nobody buys it. But Food Lion and Ingles are probably my number, 3 and 4 after Aldi and Walmart. But I know when Walmart's meat goes on sale, I know when Ingles meat goes on sale, and when Food Lions goes on sale. And so I hit those up as often as I can. And that's my main freezer staple. The other thing I like, there's some pretty clean meatballs. And I make my own meatballs too. But I keep them in there. I keep them in the freezer. I'll get those at Sam's. And then tomatoes that I freeze out of the garden. I always keep those in the freezer. But yeah, primarily, if you look in my freezer, 3/4 of it is meat. And then the other part is usually some sweet stuff, either that lemon dessert, or I took that banana pudding and froze some of those into pudding pops. So I'll have stuff like that in there. And then cauliflower rice, green beans, and that's probably about it. Everything else I usually get pretty fresh, either from the garden or from the farmer's market or from the grocery store. But yeah, like I said, 3/4 of my freezer's filled up with meat, and I'll figure out kind of either what I'm making the next day, and then set out the morning of the night before. I'm going to make that. So what was that? What's that math? 30 hours before. So if I'm going to make something, if it's tonight and I'm going to make something tomorrow night, then this morning I went ahead and set out the meat for it, so it thaws in the fridge. So let's see. Hey, Dr. Kara, how you doing? Good to see you here. Thomas Jules, heavy metal girl at heart. Yes. I just put 5 pounds of stew meat in the crock pot on 8 hours for low, and then made Philly cheesesteaks, tacos, enchiladas, etc. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm going to be doing a lot, especially this fall and stuff when I got more time, when my business slows down a little bit. I'm going to be doing a lot of that crock pot stuff. Everybody wants crock pot or instant pot, crock pot, air fryer. So I'm going to kind of show you what we do on a normal daily basis. And of course, I do the recipes that I make and the desserts. I probably do at least 2 of those a week. And then every other night, we just kind of do real easy stuff, quick and easy. So I'm only 34, but grew up on classic rock. Went to more metal as I grew, also a girl. Hey, good for y'all. Y'all got some good taste in music. That's all I got to say. And growing up down here, it was all country. And my mom and dad listened to country. And, I like the old country, but like this pop country stuff, I can't do it. But I was always a rock guy from 12, 13 years old, all the way till now. Rock and roll for me. And some of the classic country and, Stapleton and, some of the good guys, kind of the newer guys, Tyler Childers and some of those guys that are more like classic country type stuff. But the pop country stuff, I just can't do it. Happy birthday. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Deborah. Tuesday Elder. I don't know your name. I need to know your name. Dr. Kara, thank you. Hey, thank y'all for your birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Jesus is coming soon. Hello. I finally made it to a live. Welcome. And thank y'all. Yeah, thank y'all so much for the birthday wishes. Well, hey, I'm glad you're here on the live. And please, any questions you got, drop them down there. Hit a few of those likes for me, so YouTube sees it and maybe maybe they'll put some people in here that have some questions or think about starting keto too, and hopefully we can help them out. I would think you would use weight with allulose. Matter of fact, similar to how the GLP-1 receptor agonists work. Yep, there's a study out about it. Interesting. Yeah, and if I can remember, and I always go back through these comments, and somebody asked about different things, and I always try to go back and put in the comments. So I will find that. I just read that study a couple weeks ago too. So I'll put a link to that study down there, and then some of the ones that kind of condense it down so it's not quite as doctory. A lot of papers will take that and condense it down where you can easily read it and not have to figure out all the scientific terms and stuff. So I'll put a couple of links down there. Also, did that last week. There was an autism study about the keto diet and autism and stuff. So we talked about that last week. So I put those in that video. Namaste 86. Happy birthday from California, and namaste. Thank you very much. What do you pressure wash? I want one to clean the calcium off the pool tiles. Using that 4-inch razor scraper just about kill me. Oh, I'll bet. Yeah, I pressure wash everything from I usually do soft washing houses to concrete, pool decks, pretty much everything. I do a lot of commercial stuff too. Yeah, pressure washers is essential, especially for pool decks. And yeah, you can use chemical to clean calcium off too, but just get you a good one. Don't get those little cheap electric ones. Just, you got to spend a little bit of money and get like just over a homeowner's grade pressure washer. It'll tear up on you, where you can spend, $700-800 on one and it'll last you forever. The cheap ones, they designed to last a couple years, using it twice a year, and that's about all you're gonna get out of it. So Little Debbie oatmeal pie, yes please. Yeah, hey, that's one of the things I miss. I'm telling you, the Little Debbie stuff, the oatmeal cream pie and the Star Crunch. That's two I want to work on. So hemp hearts for oatmeal. Yep. Yeah, I could definitely do that. I just want to get a little of that oatmeal taste in there, and to my knowledge, there's not like an oatmeal extract that I know of where I can get that flavor in there. So I was thinking that oat fiber might be a good thing to try. I've never really worked with it, so that takes some experimenting, but maybe I can figure that out. Oatmeal pie, it seems like that might be a popular one then. Biggest problem it has a big variation between brands, and it's dry. It also doesn't taste like oat. Some of the brands smell bad, like dirt. Well, I don't want a dirty oatmeal cream pie. I don't want it to taste like dirt. But I'll have to do a little more research on that then, and maybe try to figure out something that will give it a little oaty taste. I need to check out these extract companies again and see. Happy birthday from Washington State. Enjoying your videos and your different nail polishes. Yeah, tonight. It's clear again. I don't know how these pink nails and stuff make it onto my videos, but you must just catch me at the right time, I guess. So yeah, so my wife's nails will be featured in the Saturday video as well. So, new to keto and wondering what kind of veggies and fruits can be eaten. Laura, the best thing I would say, and I'm gonna make a video because I've had a bunch of requests about that. So I'm gonna go through the grocery store. If Aldi and Walmart won't throw me out for doing this, I'm gonna go through the grocery store and basically show you all the ones that you can do. But what you want to look for is non-starchy vegetables. So Brussels sprouts, asparagus, you can do green beans, cauliflower, broccoli, celery root, parsnips. There's several. Hang on, trying to think. I drew a blank. Not parsnips. Turnips. Turnips was what I was thinking of for that. But if you go through a lot of my older videos, I've used a lot of vegetables as like substitutes for mashed potatoes. Just look for the non-starchy vegetables. If you just Google non-starchy vegetables, you'll find a bunch of stuff. Okra. There's a lot of vegetables you can have that you just have to limit a lot. Any of the stuff with a lot of high fiber in it are usually good. But then, no corn, no potatoes, things like that. But yeah, just Google low starch vegetables and you'll be able to find a ton of good stuff that you can eat. And you got to find out really how many grams of carbs you can have per day also, just so you can kind of fit that in there. And I do a lot of recipes where I use cauliflower rice for grits, and a lot of substitutes that if you cook it right, you won't notice the difference. And so you can check those out. And my favorite probably, we probably do cauliflower 4 or 5 days a week at least, just in different things, cauliflower rice or grits or and then as far as fruits go, the main things you want to look at are berries. Strawberries, blueberries, blackberries are going to be the best. There's a lot of good substitutes you can have. I got an apple pie recipe coming up soon, where I'll show you a couple different things you can use to substitute for that. Because you don't want apples, you don't want bananas. You can do a small amount of watermelon, like a cup or half a cup, just depending on what you can do. So a lot of the things you can do in small quantities. That's one of the other things that you kind of want to look at is the portions. Like if you know that you can do this amount of carbs per day, and you can have, a half a cup of blueberries will work for you with like some high protein yogurt or something like that. There's a lot of things you can do, but I'll do a video about that so I can show you exactly like the best things that you can have for keto, because I really need to do a lot more information type things about that. And so I'll do that sometime over the fall too. But yeah, just Google low starch vegetables and low sugar fruits, and you should be able to get right in there with that. Let's see. Is your family keto? The pretty nails person. I know you mentioned your son is not. Yeah. So me and my wife are. My son is not. He's 18, but now he probably, all his dinners, he eats the same thing we do. That's how I know I got a good recipe. If he eats it, then I know it's a winner. If he eats the dessert, if he eats more of the dessert than I do, then I know it's a winner. So, but he's not like strict keto or anything. I'm not cooking extra meals for him. I make them good enough to where he'll eat them. But he'll have fries. He'll go to McDonald's and stuff. And if he needs to, if he ever gets in a position where he has any kind of health condition or overweight or whatever the case may be, he knows where he can come to figure it out. But me and her, we are. So, and then my oldest son or stepson, he moved out, and so he lives with his wife. They're not keto. But whenever anybody comes over, all our desserts and stuff are keto, and people don't seem to have a problem eating them. So that's how I know I got a good recipe. So let's see. But yeah, she is the one with the pretty nails. Can't wait for crock pot meals. Yeah, and it's winter's a great time for crock pot stuff, especially soups and things like that. It's awesome. From Ohio, ever heard of JJ Gray? Yep, JJ Gray and Mofro. I'm trying to think of the song Orange. He's got some great songs. He did a cover of a Van Morrison song, and he's got a song Orange something. You have to tell me in the comments what that is. It's Orange something like that. But yeah, I've heard JJ Gray and Mofro. Yep. I need a banana cream pie and a key lime pie keto style for November. If you come with one, let me know, and happy birthday. Thank you. Yeah, I could definitely do a banana cream pie because I got all that banana extract left. And so we were going to try to do a banana bread with that, with my bread recipe. So I'm definitely going to try that. And I got a bunch of extract left, so might as well try a banana cream pie. I believe I can pull that off. And a key lime pie. Now, I've actually made one. We just didn't do a video for it, but I used the same crust as in that lemon dessert video, and it was just awesome. But I need to do that. So um, I read the articles you posted and forwarded to my daughter. Good, Kathy. Good. Um, yeah. So a lot on that autism and keto. I think it's going to work fine. Donna, will you be doing a series on things like cookies? Yeah, Christmas is coming. Definitely miss making hundreds of cookies. I need it. Yeah. And I realized the other day somebody made a comment about chocolate, and I realized I'd never done a chocolate chip cookie video, and I got some killer chocolate chip cookies. Hey, and y'all tell me too. I'm kind of torn on this thing. Last year, one of the subscribers was asking about the keto chow, and so I made the snickerdoodle keto chow came out, and she always wanted some kind of snickerdoodle cookies, and so I made a recipe using that snickerdoodle keto chow. So I ordered it and made some cookies out of it and stuff. But what do y'all think about the keto chow? I'm kind of torn. I feel like, I mean, I eat it, I do it sometimes as something quick and easy. I don't do it a whole lot. And I also, I don't know. I hate seeing videos myself for like, and I say that, but I just did an air fryer video, but I really love that air fryer. But I see a lot of videos where it's like a 4-minute long video and 2 minutes of it's talking about a sponsor or, I mean, it's more about the sponsor than it is the food. So y'all let me know your thoughts about that. Should I make some stuff for keto chow? Should I not? I mean, it's just like a protein powder to me. It's fine. I hate to get into that whole thing because, sometimes I just kind of fast forward through all that if somebody's talking about it. Just let me know what y'all's thoughts are because if you like stuff like that, I'll do it. I can definitely do it. But I saw like 3 videos of the same thing come out in one day with the same keto chow one time, and I'm like, I'm gonna, if I do it, I'm gonna do something different. I don't want to do the same thing everybody else is doing. But yes, Donna, I was kind of off on a tangent, but yeah, I'm gonna do some cookies. I'm gonna do some fudge. I'm gonna do all kind of Christmassy stuff. That's my favorite time of the year. So I had some pretty good videos last year. Nobody saw, and I'll make shorts on those too. So maybe you can go back and see some of those because recipes have always been good. The videos ain't been great, but the recipes have always been good. So thank you, Kaylee. Kaylee, I don't know if it's Kaylee or Kalia Johnson. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. I don't know how to pronounce your name. They'll let me know. Kathy Haynes, my bucket list band was Kiss. I saw them in Greenville, South Carolina in 2010. Happy birthday from North Georgia. Kathy, I saw that same concert. I was there it was the Bilo Center back then. I went to that exact same concert. So that was awesome. We also saw them with Aerosmith up in Charlotte. And that was a good time. I'm glad I got to see Aerosmith when they were still great, and I was hoping to see them this time, but they're not going to do it. Steven Tyler can't do it anymore, so they'll probably end up in Vegas or something doing some $2,500 ticket concert or something that I can't do. So, but glad I got to see them a few times when I could. Cutouts, chew molasses, chocolate chip, thumbprints, peanut butter. Don, I just need you to send me emails every week. So, because you got all the ideas that I can do. So I won't ever have to worry about coming up with ideas with you. You can just send them to me. Oh, the calcium stuff did not work. Good old elbow grease and razor scraping. Yeah, you got to get something stronger than like CLR. There's some other stuff. You'll email me. I'll give you some of the commercial stuff that I use to get it off. Yeah, razor scrapings for the birds. Dirty little Debbie. Yep, she sure is. So we gotta do a clean version of that, the little Debbie stuff. A lot of Ohio folks out here. Appreciate y'all being here. Do you have a cookbook? Are you thinking about making one? Yes, I'm gonna make one. Hopefully next year. I'm working with a photographer that's gonna kind of help me, and I just got to have time to do a lot of writing and stuff because it takes a lot of work to put together one. And I really want to make a good solid cookbook when I do it. So it's going to take a little time. Have you ever done what I eat in a day video? I've done one, maybe two. A lot of people wanted to see them, but not a lot of people watched them. But I've done some for camping, and I did one with like my high pro week. And so I've done that, those couple, but I want to kind of frame them a little different. Maybe not like what I eat in a day, but maybe a just like maybe more like a meal plan type thing, but just quick and easy kind of stuff, because that's really what we do. Oh, thank you so much. $5 super chat. You fill a distinct niche here in the keto community. Thank you, and keep going. Hey, listen, I appreciate that. And yeah, I appreciate you being here and watching, and I really do appreciate it. Let's see. Happy birthday from the Hillbillies here in Northwest Georgia. Yep. Thank you very much. And hey, neighbors. Waiting patiently on an apple pie. Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, yeah, that one will be out. I'm going to, when it's apple picking season, I'm going to have that thing ready to go. I did those apple donuts last year, and they were really good too. I might try to do that again this year and make those again, and maybe a couple different varieties, maybe a pumpkin or something, or, some kind of other fall donuts, because those donuts came out really good, I thought. A lot of keto recipes are for families. It'd be great if you could do some video ideas for keto for one. Now, also, Laura, one of the things I do, I freeze a ton of stuff, and most of the things that I make will freeze really well. Like around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, when I make the green bean casseroles and things like that, I usually freeze the dressings, the cornbread. I made a cornbread dressing. I made, I think, 3 of them last year at one time and froze them before Thanksgiving. We had 1 or 2 for Thanksgiving, had some for Christmas. And it's just as simple as adding like a little chicken bone broth in there just to kind of moisten it back up a little bit. But most of the stuff freezes really good. And any of the stuff you can kind of portion down too, of my recipes, portion it down for one. Or, like I say, it's just super easy to freeze stuff so that you have it for later. And you don't have to worry about cooking. You can just go in the freezer, grab something, pull it out, and you got a meal ready to go. Happy birthday. Thank you, Delilah. Happy birthday. I finally made it to my Northern Michigan destination. Well, hey, I was hoping you said you were hoping you could be here, so I appreciate you being here. And yes, you got a 4-day weekend. So, yeah, y'all let me know if y'all got a long weekend this weekend. So I can watch till the end, then replay. Is it your birthday? My birthday is tomorrow. My son's birthday was yesterday. So this is the days between right here. So I got a day in between his birthday and my birthday. So mine's tomorrow. Mom turned 87 today. Well, happy birthday to her. She's in good company, I'd say, my son and me, and then she's in the middle. So tell her happy birthday. Orange Blossoms. Yep, that's the song. JJ Gray. That's a great song. I just hadn't listened to it in probably 2-3 years. I forgot what it was called, but yeah. Delilah, I've been watching you for a while now. You never disappoint me with your recipes. Thank you for all your recipes. Well, I really appreciate that. Christmas cookies would be fab. Hey, I'm telling you, Christmas is our favorite time of the year. I don't know if y'all watched any of the stuff last year, but we had like the snowflakes hanging from the ceiling and the whole nine. We do it up at Christmas now. We love that time of year. And we're going to be doing a lot of good recipes this year for that too. I bake with keto chow all the time. All right. Haven't tried it yet. It's too pricey for me. Yeah, I think the best way to buy the keto chow that I know of, because I think they're, and this may be old. I was thinking they were like $4.50 a bag. They might be $5.50 or like a single pouch or whatever. Which, I mean, it's expensive, but thinking about if you were to go to McDonald's and get like a value meal, it's like $12, or you could buy one of those and it fills you up pretty good. I think it's a pretty good price, but I think the way to get the price down is they got the big bags of them, which I don't have the big bag. I've bought some different like single ones just to try out. But it is kind of expensive. But, you know, then again, a lot of people go out and spend $15 for a lunch, a day. So to me, that's a pretty good value. You get that nutrition in it. But I just do it when we're on the run. If I don't have time or whatever, I usually don't eat breakfast. Most times I don't eat lunch anyway. So, and normally I cook at night. So, yep. Don, I know you're from Ohio. So yeah, a lot of Ohio folks in here. Listen to this old Southern boy. I appreciate it. I use keto chow on my fudge. I use their banana fudge recipe from the website. I have to look at that. Hadn't seen that. I love keto chow, but never use it as a shake. I make lots and lots of ice cream with it in the creamy. Made cookies with it. They were delicious. Yeah, because there's a lot of good recipes that use a protein powder, and that's basically what that is. So I would think it would work well, and they got the flavors already in there. So, versus a flavor extract, I could see where that would work pretty good. I mean, those the Snickerdoodle cookies that I made last year were really good, I thought, and they already had the flavor in, so I didn't have to worry about how am I going to make a Snickerdoodle taste. Blending extracts and stuff. So, yeah, I thought that one was pretty good, but I hadn't used it in the recipe since. Carolyn, I like keto chow. I use it some. They just came out with a new flavor of banana bread. Yep, I saw a couple of people came out with some banana bread muffin recipes yesterday, I think. Tuesday Elder, awesome. Christmas usually derails me. Well, I hope this year it does not, because I'm telling you, between the stuff that I did last year, I mean, there wasn't a meal last year that we had with like a family gathering that wasn't just like what I had growing up, but just my versions of the stuff, and everybody loved it. So hopefully this year you don't get derailed and you can make some of that stuff. Let me know some of your favorites down there too, because if I don't have recipes for them, I'll be glad to do them, because we're always looking for holiday stuff, Thanksgiving, Christmas, always looking for new stuff to make that we don't make. And I just want to make sure that I can kind of help everybody do the same thing that I did, just turning your favorite stuff into keto and low carb meals so that you can still eat the same Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners that you always have, snacks and everything. Even if you do snacks, I don't do a lot of snacks during the year, but around that time of year, especially football season, man, I'm just telling you, I like to have some snacks and stuff, but you can do it and not derail yourself for the holidays. So yeah, just let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you want for Thanksgiving, Christmas, because it's coming up quick. Let's see. I think your videos are awesome. You don't give yourself enough credit. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I just try to make fun videos and I try to make them entertaining anyway. So in the beginning, I didn't, and I didn't like watching them. I know nobody else did either. So, um, so now I just go for it. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm gonna do it. If people don't like it, they unsubscribe. So I mean, they do it. Somebody got offended over my baby got back one day. I mean, man, there's a lot worse things to worry about than that in the world to me. But hey, keto chow's fine. The worst thing is the seasonals that have recipes, and then you can't get the flavor for a year. Sometimes it's tasty, but I'm always hungry shortly afterwards. We like some. Yeah, that's kind of what I get too. And I don't know. I mean, I've done it. I've made it with butter. I've made it with heavy cream, and it does seem like even though there's a lot of calories in there, a lot of fat in there, um, it does seem like you get hungry a little quicker. So I don't know if it's. I'm pretty sure if I remember right. I know they've got some that use stevia, but I'm almost positive that some of them use sucralose in them. And I think sucralose, if that's what's in it, it does tend to make you hungry faster as a sweetener than a lot of the other ones. Kind of messes with your gut bacteria a little bit. So if that's what they're using in it, then that could be one of the reasons. I don't know that for a fact. So fact check me on that. But if it's sucralose, that's probably what it is. I have over 150 cookie cookbooks. Well, then you got some good ideas for me then, I'm sure. I always want to try keto chow, but never have yet. Let's see. Keto eggnog. I did a keto eggnog recipe last year that is awesome. So if I can remember, I'll put a link to it down there, or just matter of fact, I might have still no. I think I was Southern Keto by then. Maybe may have been under. Well, everything's under my channel anyway. But my old name was Your Best Body Blueprint when I first started, because I was doing some health coaching, and that was the name of my business. And then I just decided that I really like doing these recipes and stuff instead of health coaching, and because that was just kind of a side deal anyway. And so I really enjoyed doing this, and I didn't have time to do both, so it was kind of one or the other. But it may have been a Best Body Blueprint video, but I'm pretty sure it's a Southern Keto. But if you just go to YouTube search and search Southern Keto eggnog, you'll find it, and it's a killer recipe. Let's see. Thumbs up, please. Yes, please give me some thumbs up on here. And make sure you share it if you know anybody this might help, or even on the replay. If I mention something in one of these things and you've talked to somebody and you think it might help them, or if they have any questions, then, you know, if anybody has any questions for you that you don't know, then send them to me ahead of time. Because if I don't know them, I can look them up before we get on here. But I always try to put that in the Facebook group, an announcement in my private Facebook group. And I got the link to that down below. If you're not in there, people post pictures in there of stuff that they've made, whether it's mine or somebody else's, keto recipes, whether it's mine or somebody else's. And it's a good private group where if you're on Facebook, you don't have to worry about posting anything in there and it going out to your personal feed or anything. But I try to do a post about these lives on Wednesday. So if you got any questions that you want me to answer, or it might be something that I don't know right off the top of my head, just post them in there, and I'll always look at that and have an answer ready for you for these lives. But if anybody that you know has a question, then put that in there too, and I'll be sure to answer it. I'm waiting for the Cocoa Pebbles. Yep. So that is coming soon. I'm waiting on one thing before I put that out. I've got the recipe down, but there's a key piece of that I want to do first, and I'm kind of in talks and in the works with that. So it should be coming soon. I would say it would be in the month of September. I'll have that cocoa, but I got something that I got to do first before I can do that. That's going to be really cool. So, hey, Tony from Texas, first live. Well, I appreciate you being here. If you got any questions, make sure you drop them down there for me. Donuts are good. Hopefully we can show us some more recipes. Yeah, I really enjoyed those apple donuts that I made. I made them probably twice last year, and that was it. So it's about time to do it again. It's almost that apple picking time. So your desserts are way too good for me to have any left over for the freezer, but it's a great idea. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. That lemon dessert though, you can leave that thing in the freezer. And yeah, if y'all have made the banana pudding and it's still hot where you're at, like it is here, take some of that banana pudding, put them in those popsicle molds. I think I got the ones I use in the Amazon store. Um, but just put them in those popsicle molds, throw them in the freezer, and they are awesome. I mean, that's a perfect texture for, like, if you take a popsicle out and you bite it and it's like icy, and this has got a real good texture. Just like ice cream, like the old Jello pudding pops. And so that is an awesome thing to do. If you make that banana pudding, you get any left over. Or if you don't make it banana, you can, put chocolate, put cocoa powder in it. You can put vanilla in it for vanilla. But anyway, that's a good thing for the freezer too. Happiest birthday wishes. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate that. Happy 18th birthday to your son. That's a big one. Yes. Yep. Yesterday would have been my mom's 98th. Happy birthday to you and your son. Thank you so much. Send Christmas cookies to my son that is stationed in Misawa, Japan every year. Non-keto. Thank goodness for APO mail. It gets there fast. Yeah, stuff from Japan. If you order something from Japan, it usually takes forever. So, yeah, it's good. $5.50 for each keto chow packet, but plenty of YouTubers have 10% off every day. Bags of keto chow are cheaper. So it's $5.50. Okay. Have to go, guys. Thank you for the cool chat and the Q&A. Hey, thank you for being here. I appreciate you watching. Yeah, keto chow is $5.50. Can get 10% get off up to 20% off subscription. I just started a subscription. Okay. Yep, Sav, have a good rest of your night. My favorite pie for the holidays is strawberry rhubarb. See, I'll have to look at doing that. I know we do have some rhubarb coming in. I don't know that I've had strawberry rhubarb pie a long time ago. It's not something that I have used on a regular basis, but that's a good pie to try over the holidays. Is there a keto protein shake that you recommend? The protein powder I'd recommend, and I can't think of the name. I think it's ISO Pure, if I remember right. The main thing that you want is the beef protein's better if you have any kind of allergies at all. I mean, you can get whey protein all day long, but the main thing to look at is the sweeteners that's in it. There's a good beef protein. If I find it, I'll try to put a link down to it below. I've got some downstairs, but I'm pretty sure it's ISO Pure. That's pretty clean, but I'll go back through these comments later and I'll put a link to that protein powder down there. But there's a few good ones. You just got to watch out for the kind of sweeteners they use, or if they add sugar. But I know that one's a good low carb one. Bonnie, most are sucralose except for the core, which has stevia. Okay. I was thinking the sucralose was in the keto chow, which is probably why you get hungry so soon after. But the core has stevia or it's unsweetened. They also have a strawberry and monk fruit. So those would probably be the ones I would recommend for that. I'm not a big sucralose fan. I'll do it like in an energy drink or whatever, but not regularly. I mean, a lot of people will do keto chow like for lunch and do it every day. And I wouldn't recommend it. But if it doesn't give you any stomach issues or whatever, then you do you. But I'm not a huge fan of sucralose. I make a killer meatloaf with ground beef and ground up gyro meat and pork rind panko crumbs. It's so good. Yeah, Deborah, that sounds good. I got a good meatloaf that I made too, and uh, a lot of people watched it, and I didn't put any. I usually do. I use the meatloaf blend, which is the ground pork, the ground veal, and the ground beef, and then I do the pork rinds. I put some water in there. So I got a video on my channel if you want to check it out and try that one. It's a real good recipe. And I use my ketchup recipe on there too for the top of it if you like the ketchup on top. But those are pretty good. Also cranberry stuff. Yeah, I did which I had the keto police all over me last year because I did a sugar-free cranberry sauce recipe also, and that one was really good. Whole cranberries are not that bad. You get dried cranberries, and that stuff is terrible with sugar. But yeah, I'll do a different cranberry recipe this year. But that the cranberry sauce that I did was awesome, and people loved it. Even people that don't normally like cranberries, especially the one that you take out of the can, it keeps a shape, and you plop it down, and it's the big cylinder you cut up. But that's what a lot of times at my nana's, she always made like a real cranberry. She called it cranberry salad, but it had fresh cranberries in it. But then she always had the cranberry cylinder. But even people who don't like cranberries like that one a lot. So that was a pretty good one. Crystal, can't wait to try your bread. It looks amazing. A lot of people had great results. Yes, a lot of people have, and yeah, that's one of probably the recipe that I'm the most proud of because it took a long time and a lot of ingredients to make it, and I think it really came out really good. And I did it the other day with one stick of butter, and it came out just fine too. So I may actually go back. I may start making it with just one stick from now on, or maybe a stick and a half. So the reason I did two to begin with is just so you'd be able to just throw it in a pan without adding anything to it. Like for a Reuben, you could either bake it in the oven or put it in a pan. You wouldn't have to spread anything on the outside of it. Just make it quick and easy. Just throw it down, put your Thousand Island down, put your corned beef down, your cheese, throw the top on it, and cook it like that. But that was kind of my thoughts going into it, and it's fine like that too. But it's good with one stick also. So macros, as far as the higher fat, I like the 2 sticks of butter in there myself. But yeah, it'll do just fine with one, and especially if you're going to toast it and you're going to use a regular toaster, I would recommend one just because you don't want that butter going in there and setting your whole kitchen on fire or anything. So we've toasted a lot of it. I hadn't had any problem, and I've always or every time I toasted it's been the 2 sticks. So hang on. Got my notifications turned off, so it must be something important. No, it's not anything important. All right, sorry about that. Let's see. But yeah, anyway, yeah, the one stick works fine. If you want the higher fat, use 2 sticks of butter in there. And yeah, especially if you're in the Facebook group. But yeah, everybody's been posting that, and I think Lynn was the first one that posted in there. And then everybody's been posting pictures in there, and it's just awesome. I was trying to get Wes from High Falutin Low Carb to do my bread recipe. He had post on his Facebook, like if anybody has any ideas on what they want me to make for my next video, because he does he'll take other people's recipes and make them. And so I commented on them like I got 1 or 2 ideas, and a couple other people said something about the bread, but he ended up doing the coconut shrimp. I saw his video came out today. I hadn't watched it yet. I don't have time to watch. There's 2 or 3 people that I watch pretty much all their videos, and that's about it. And but anyway, he didn't make my bread yet. So if y'all are on his page, go in there and say, hey, make Southern Keto's bread. That'd be awesome. I think that'd give me a nice boost too. And a lot of people that have been missing bread and have tried those crappy styrofoam breads, I think would have something good that they would enjoy. So y'all go in there and hit him up on his Facebook and tell him you want to see that bread. Let's see. Pudding pops bring me back to childhood. Yeah, I really wanted to put one of those old pudding pop commercials in there, but I just can't do that after all the things that went on. But I used to love them commercials. And those pudding pops, they were so good. And then they just went away, which thankfully, but for me, but making that pudding that I make and freezing them works just great. And it reminds me a lot of those. I mean, it was banana, so I did the banana, but I'm gonna do the chocolate, and I'm gonna do some vanilla too, because those are my favorite too. And I think they had a swirl, if I remember right. They had a chocolate vanilla pudding pop swirl, so that'd be good to make too. Patty says, happy birthday. I really enjoy your channel. Lots of fun, creative things to try. I appreciate you. I hope you stick with keto. Been at it about 7 weeks. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely stick with it because this is really really probably the third time that I've done it. But now that I have been able to create a lot of these recipes, there's no reason not to, because I can have all the same stuff that I loved eating. And that's what I knew would make me stick to it now, is if I could eat the same stuff that I loved eating. And so that's kind of why I started making all these recipes, so that I can eat the stuff I like. And so keto and low carb, I won't say everything's keto. I mean, I do low carb, but everything's gonna be keto or low carb. You're gonna see very few carnivore things, because although that bread was pretty close to carnivore, I'll say that. If a carnivore person's okay with psyllium husk, then that would be a pretty close to carnivore bread, I would say. But I just have to have more variety than, a lot of the carnivore stuff. Let's see. Yep. Thank you, Deborah. Your thoughts on Chalk Zero products and Clean Simple Eats protein products? My friend suggested I try them. I'm not so sure. So Chalk Zero, I like their products. I think they're really good products. The problem I have, like with the chocolate chips, for example, I can go in Walmart and there's a brand called Bake Believe, and it is about $4 for a regular size bag. I think they're 8 ounces, might be 9 ounces of chocolate chips for $4 versus Chalk Zeros somewhere between 9 and 10. And I've tried them. I don't see the difference enough to make up for the price. So I would stick to the Bake Believe or the Lilies at Walmart for chocolate chips. I have tried their cookies. I've tried their butter cookies. Those are really good. They're just so expensive. That's why I like to try to make a lot of these things. If I could make a similar recipe and it's half the price, and it takes very little work, which most of my recipes don't. I mean, I try to make them as easy as possible. And as easy ingredients as possible. I tend to go that route versus buying them. But there is something to be said about convenience and just being able to, of course you got to wait, if you got a craving for the butter cookies, then you got to wait 5 days on them to get here. Then that, the craving's gone. But yeah, I think their products are good. A bit pricey for my taste, but I do think they make good products. Now, I would have to do a little research on the Clean Simple Eats protein, because I'm not familiar. I never tried it. Let me know what the sweetener is in that, if you would, and I can tell you probably based on that my opinion of it, and also what kind of protein it is. If it's beef protein, whey protein. Hopefully it's not soy or pea. But yeah, let me know with that, and I can tell you my opinion on it. Deborah, got to run. Thank you. Love your channel. Keep the recipes coming. Deborah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Lynn, looks like you spent a lot of time in keto jail. The keto police need to mind their own business. That's right. I do. They be hating. Love, love, love Chalk Zero, Xtina says. Pudding pops were the bomb. Absolutely. Exchange student 2, Illinois. Well, I hope your weather up there is better than mine. Kathy, love your videos. Keep up the good work. Got to go. My sister's coming in from Florida tonight. Double trouble. not the Stevie Ray Vaughan kind. I hear you. Kathy, thank you for being here again. Kathy's one of my Keto Family channel members, so I appreciate you. Southern Keto Family. I don't make shakes with keto chow either. Pancakes, waffle, mug cakes, and their recipes. Okay, so it seems like y'all are liking the keto chow, just not for the chow part, more for the recipes. So might be something for me to look into. I don't care for Chalk Zero peanut butter cups, though. The white chocolate is better than the others. Hey, you need to try my peanut butter cups or the Reese's peanut butter cup bars. I'm going to tell you, not to say anything about those guys, but we keep those, we eat those all the time. I mean, that's usually in our fridge every single week, and they're so easy to do. And you only have to make the cups. I did the cups for like a Halloween video last year. And you do the chocolate on the bottom, and then the peanut butter in the middle, and then chocolate on top. But you can just do the whole bottom with the peanut butter, top it with chocolate, like I did in that peanut butter bar video a couple months ago. Those things are awesome. The white chocolate is better than the others. So I've tried Lily's white chocolate. I thought Lily's was pretty good. We don't do a whole lot of white chocolate though, but I'm allergic to coconut and fish, so I didn't watch Wes's video. Yeah, that would not be for you, for sure. You might be allergic just watching that video for real. So glad you started sharing your recipes. Everything looks so amazing. Thank you, Xtina. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I enjoy doing it. I mean, and it's also, I get to eat different stuff all the time because I'm always like, okay, well, how can I make this? How can I make this? I go through my grandmother's old recipes and stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this. So, I mean, I got a whole. So here's all the pages of my video ideas here. So you can see that. Pages and pages and pages of videos that I want to do. So I should not have a lack of videos, that's for sure. I just threw stuff all over my floor. Let's see. I also prefer the white chocolate peanut butter cups. I might have to try that because I have not tried white chocolate peanut butter cups. But it sounds like I need to. I can make my bars with it next time and try the white chocolate. That pizza crust blew me away. I was such a skeptic. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. I love it. And, like I said, that little bit of Parmesan, do some Parmesan on there, even a little more than I do if you want to hold up a little more, but I really love it. Yep, they're expensive. YouTube is crazy giving us commercials in the middle of lives. Oh, is it a commercial in there? They use well, I guess it's been an hour and something. Yeah, they're going to throw a commercial in there. There are some Chalk Zero products on Amazon. Yep. How about creating an Oreo cookie clone? I miss Oreos. Yeah, first of all, I got to do a good chocolate, not a chocolate chip cookie, but like a chocolate cookie. The filling, I've made something similar to a good filling, but I just don't have a good like a Oreo cookie, like the cookie part down yet. But maybe that's something for me to work on for the fall because I do love those also, and I hadn't had them in a while. So into my budgeting, it helps me out a lot. Good. Walmart here has lilies for $5.44 a bag, but they're always half out of stock, and then they got rid of the Walmart exclusive flavor butterscotch. Yep, we had the butterscotch here too, and we got that several times, and I didn't know that they had like discontinued it, but I guess they did. Yeah, Lily's is I think Lily's is the same price here, and that Bake Believe is just about $1.50 cheaper, and it's really good. I really couldn't tell the difference between that and the Lily's, so that's why I get it. Yep, I use Bake Believe all the time simply because it's less expensive. Yeah, and really I can't tell the difference between that and the Lily's. So pea protein is in the bathroom. Yep. Can't find the milk recipe. Please help. So my keto milk recipe is in the banana pudding video that I just did. It's got the picture of me and Paula Deen. Let me see what the name of that video is. Oh, I got a bunch of comments I can get to after this. So if y'all have commented on any of my videos, and just know I'll get to them tonight. I made Paula Deen's most viral dessert keto plus my keto milk recipe. So that's where the keto milk recipe is. It's in the last week's video. So you should be able to find that. Have you tried Kaizen keto rice? I have not. Is that the one that has the lupin flour or some sort of bean flour in it? I have not tried it. I've done some hearts of palm rice, which I really like because it's low carb. I'm not a big fan of those the bean fibers that they use in there, but I have to look at it. But I have not tried it. But the heart of palm, if you find those, that Kaizen might have been the lupin flour or something like that too. I'm not sure. But anyway, the heart of palm is a real good alternative to rice. You can find it in Walmart. Aldi's got it. Definitely going to try your peanut butter bar cups. Yes. Yeah, y'all try those. You're going to love those. Oh, thank you, Donna. This is the ingredient list for vanilla protein powder for clean, simple. Grass-fed whey protein, xylitol, non-fat dry milk, natural flavors, prebiotic isomaltosaccharides, coconut creamer, xanthan gum, stevia leaf. I prefer the beef protein over the whey protein, just because, if for nothing else, a lot of people will have whey allergies and not even know it. The beef protein is going to absorb a little better in the body also. There was a study a while back. I'll try to remember to put that in there too, about how much your body can absorb of one versus the other. So you could have a whey protein that says it's really high in protein, but your body can only absorb so much of it at one time. Your body can only absorb so much protein at one time anyway. But the beef protein seems to absorb better. So it's kind of more bang for your buck. Xylitol is the main sweetener in it. So if you got any dogs in the house, xylitol is bad for dogs. I mean, it can kill dogs. So you got to be careful with that. If you got any dogs around, make sure they don't get into it. The prebiotic isomalted oligosaccharides. Yeah, I mean, that one's not terrible. I'd say there's definitely a whole lot worse than that out there. So I would try it, but if you notice any kind of, like stuffiness or anything like that, or whatever after you try it, then I would say try to find a beef one with similar ingredients. But I believe that's what Keto Chow uses too. So, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world. A lot of those ingredients, I mean, it's fine. Sea salt and monk fruit. So they're using monk fruit, stevia, and xylitol as sweeteners in there. So it's got probably a good flavor for sure. If you can do whey, I wouldn't see too much of a problem with that one. Tony, I love it. Okay. Gonna make some peanut butter cups. Yes. Yeah, I'll make those peanut butter cups. So I had to look at that pasta. I'm pretty sure that's the one with the lupin flour or something in it. But yes, I did commercials last week as well. So yeah, because I've got all of my I've got all commercials are on all the videos, whether even before I had 1,000 subscribers, which is when they give you a little money for that. But even before that, all the videos they put commercials on everything because it's how they're making all their money. So you'll probably run across a commercial on here. So while we wait for your delicious recipe for Oreos, Chalk Zero has some good options. Yeah, I have to try the Chalk Zero Oreos because I haven't tried those. We did the butter cookie one. Yep, there's a few commercials, but I believe that's also how you make money, so I watch them. Yep. Yeah, as a YouTube creator, that's once you reach 1,000 subscribers and you reach 4,000 hours of watch time, then they start paying you a little bit on the commercials. Where before they don't pay you for the commercials and they still run them. So it's nice to get a little something for all the work and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, they're putting them on the lives too, I guess. Who else do you watch? I always watch Wes from Highfalutin Low Carb. I haven't got a chance to watch his video today. And I always watch Chris Cook in Nashville. Of course, me and him have done a couple videos together, but I just think he's super creative. He uses stuff in a way that nobody has ever done them before, and every recipe I've ever tried of his has been great. And there's just a lot, and particularly, I mean, I swear, like in the last 6 months, there's people popping up. I think YouTube's just showing different. Well, luckily, probably because nobody would be watching me probably if YouTube didn't start showing new people. But it just seems like to me there's a lot of people out there that are putting out these really junky, crappy recipes. Their thumbnails are not like the real food. It's not what they cooked. And to me, it's just an issue. To me, it kind of makes all of us look bad when somebody goes out and does that, because if somebody makes a crappy subpar recipe, somebody goes out and tries it, and everybody's gonna mess up a recipe. I had a lady the other day that said that my bread recipe caught her oven on fire. And I mean, I've had, I don't even know, 30 people probably either post pictures of making the bread, say how great the bread was that made it. Sent email. Somebody sent me an email the other day showing they made like 4 loaves, and so there's always going to be one person that has a bad experience. But when you go through some of these people's comments, and every single person has spent their hard-earned money on ingredients trying to make these recipes, and people are just putting out crap that I won't even say, but you can read through the comments and know who's legit and who's not legit. And again, take it with a grain of salt, because some people just, if you're just now learning to cook, you probably don't want to get into a super advanced carnivore noodle recipe, right? You want to kind of start and build, and then once you learn keto cooking, then you can go try some recipes like that. You don't want to go for the most, the hour-long recipe as your first shot at trying to cook something. But when you get people just putting out junk, and you read through the comments, and people are like, I made this and it was terrible. This was awful. And it just makes all of us look bad. And I really hate it because a lot of these people got a lot more followers than I do, a lot more views than I do. And, but, when somebody sees my bread recipe and they're like, oh, this is just another crappy bread recipe, when to me it's the best one, honestly, that I've ever tried. And it took me a long time to make it. And somebody can go in and type something on a computer in 5 minutes and come up with a recipe and then put it out as a video. And, you know, anyway, sorry, that's a tangent, but there's just a lot of that popping up now. And I'm not really a fan of it, but it's happening. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And I feel like, if people put out crappy stuff, then it's going to come back. It's going to come back to bite them eventually. So, but yeah, my main two are Wes, Chris Cook in Nashville, and I always get on my feed. I'll get Keto Twins. So if it looks interesting, I might watch theirs. I'll watch Low Carb Love, some of hers if they seem good, and Annie Keto Focus. If hers look good, I'll watch those too. But the ones that I always watch are Wes and Chris. Wes is just freaking hilarious. I just love watching his videos, and I just think Chris is so creative, and he's kind of, to me, we've got kind of the same mindset about it, is trying to make these recipes perfect. And then I go to I try to make them perfect and make them as easy as possible so everybody can make them easily. And so I just feel like that a lot of these things that are popping up now is just not good for our community. So hopefully it'll get weeded out over time. And I don't know what's happened, but a lot of it's not good. And a lot of people are scared to try some of my recipes because of stuff that's going on. So let's see. What's your opinion before trying? Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Want to make your peanut butter cup bars? What can I use instead of the coconut oil to pair with the chocolate? You don't even have to use the coconut oil. The coconut oil just makes it shiny on top. So it's more of a presentation thing. You can just melt the chocolate down and put it on top, and it works just fine. You don't have to use any oil in there at all. But if you got a little bit of olive oil or avocado, very, very little, because it doesn't harden up like the coconut does. But if you want that little bit of shine, just like a tiny, just a drop or two would help with the shine a little bit. But then it's also going to be a little more soft. So you can totally just melt the chocolate. Now we do a lot of times, but I'm taking pictures and stuff for it too. I want it to look nice and shiny, and it's just nice when people come in and you got it on the plate and they look, just like they do out of the Reese's peanut butter cup wrapper. So it's just more of a presentation thing than anything else. But if you're just making them for yourself, or anybody else too, it don't really matter. You can just totally leave that out and it works fine. Let's see. Speaking of dogs, how's Buddy doing? I see him lurking around your videos sometimes. He is always there, whether you see him or not. If I'm in the kitchen, he is right up under me, hoping I drop something. And normally I drop something for him anyway. So, but yeah, he's doing good. He's just he's looking for the next crumb around the house somewhere. So we don't even need a vacuum cleaner around here. I'm telling you, that dog, if there's a crumb dropped, he finds it. So, but yeah, he's just spoiled rotten. I can tell you that. You're welcome. That is just my opinion. So, yeah, if whey is not an issue, I don't see a problem with the ingredients that I read. Kaizen's a lupin pasta. It's one of the better ones. The key is don't overcook. Boil 6 minutes max. Now I'll check it out. I just haven't. There was a whole thing with a lupin pasta and some glucose tests and stuff that showed that it spiked a lot of people's blood sugar. So I just don't like recommending it. If I feel like it's going to spike more people's blood sugar than not, then I just kind of stay away from it myself. But that's just one of those things where if it works for you, then definitely do it. I don't think it would really bother me so much, but to me, there's more options like the heart of palm pasta or the cottage cheese pasta that I did, or cauliflower rice or things like that, that I feel more comfortable recommending because I think more people will react better to it, if that makes sense. Chalk Zero churro cookies. Man, I'm going to look at Chalk Zero now. Y'all making me hungry. A churro cookie. Oh, man. Y'all killing me. I might go on Chalk Zero's website after I get off here. Caught her oven on fire. Sorry, but that's pretty stupid. I just laughed. It's not your bread that did it. Yes, she said it was way too much butter in there. And I'm like, well, I probably tested this thing and I used 1 stick of butter, I think once or maybe twice. Other than that, I used 2 sticks of butter every single time I ever made it, even when it failed terribly and there were holes in the middle of it. And she said the butter boiled over, and I'm like, well, you probably used too small of a bread pan, but I don't know. Butter boiling over the bread pan and catching the oven on fire. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you got a bread pan and the bread and it's here and the bread's sticking up about that far, it's probably need to try a different size bread pan, in my opinion. But I don't know. History teacher, I really like your channel. Great recipes, the genuineness and humor you include is fabulous. I really like your car conversations too. Well, thank you. Yeah, I kind of stopped doing the keto in the car just because when I was talking about more and see lives a little different, but even after when I do the lives and I'm talking about the keto stuff, like YouTube doesn't show my videos very much after that because I am not a medical professional, so I'm not giving medical advice. So there's my disclaimer, YouTube, but they just don't show that content. So I kind of stopped doing them. And that's why I really decided to start doing these lives so that if people did have questions about stuff like that, I can answer them instead of kind of rambling and then nobody would really even see the video. So if anybody had any questions, just come on here. And that's kind of my forum now, where before I was doing those. And, I always suggest a lot of people, if they're brand new to keto or whatever, go back and watch those old videos because they got a lot of good information in there, but you have to look for them. YouTube's not going to suggest them to you. People jumping on the trends and don't care how it affects their channel. Amen and amen. I honestly threw out all of my other bread recipes once I made yours. Awesome. Well, Chris has a good white bread recipe that isn't styrofoam. Yours really is the bomb, and I can't say that enough. Thank you. You are very welcome, and that is that's very humbling for you to say that because I know you've tried a lot of them, and so that's really cool. But yeah, Chris does have a good white bread. I'm working on a white bread too. But I just love that wheat bread. Like that artisan bread to me, that's the good stuff. You're going to grow really fast. I watched the people you mentioned came across your channel. You're amazing and glad I found you. Wish you the best luck and success with your channel. Thank you so much. I bought some bread pans to make your recipe. I have everything else. Well, hey, make sure you let me know how it turns out. And I think you're in the Facebook, the private group. I believe. I can't remember. It's I think once I made it private, a lot more people joined it. And so that was good because a lot of people had concern. Like sometimes you just don't want to post in a group and then it shows up on your feed because of various reasons. But it's a good community in there, and just rest assured that if you're in that group, you ain't got to worry about trolls. I will boot them. You don't have to worry about anything in there. So I read every comment, just like I do on my YouTube videos. I read every comment in that group, and if I don't respond to them or like it or something, it's because I didn't see it for some reason. But yeah, in there it's a good community. I'm glad everybody's kind of talking to each other now in there and stuff, and supporting each other and encouraging each other and things like that. That's really what I wanted when I made that page. And once I took it private, I think it's a lot better. So anyway, when you make it, go in that group and post some pictures if you want to, or at least tell me how you like it. So, your videos are top notch. Any recipe of yours always tastes great. Just follow your steps and instructions with correct ingredients. Yes. And a lot of time, look, I'm not I'm not the world's best with remembering to put everything in the video. So, but I always, and I've even missed some in the description before too, but I always put the recipes, the ingredients are in the description. So if I forget to put an amount of something, if I forget to say an amount of something in the video, go down to the description, find the recipe, and it's always right in there. Because I mean, the way I develop a lot of this stuff is just by throwing stuff together. Then I have to figure out how much of whatever I put in. So when I do that, I kind of write it down. I'm like, well, that looked like a tablespoon. Well, then I'll go through at the end before I do the video, and I'll test it with those exact things. So I'm following that recipe, even though when I'm making the stuff, a lot of times I don't. So once it hits YouTube, that recipe is exactly the way it turns out in my video is exactly that recipe, whether I remember to say it all in the video or not. For a long time, I didn't even say the ingredient. I'm just trying to say the amounts now in the videos because a lot of people said that you wanted that. So I'm trying to say what amount of stuff I'm putting in and whatnot. So I'm trying to do that. But if not, if I forget something, it's down in the description. But yeah, thank you very much. A lot of people are AI generated, and there's a lot of stealing recipes and photos and reposting them. Some recipes don't even match the photos, but people do it anyhow. We love your recipes. Yeah, that's what I mean. I looked at some of these. I watched one video. I won't get into any names. If y'all want to put them down in the comments, you're more than welcome to, so you can help people kind of watch out for some of this stuff. But I looked at that and I was like, holy cow, that is a good looking recipe. Then I went and watched the video, took my time to watch the video, and it wasn't even close. And I'm like, I mean, it was crazy. It was not even close. I don't know if it was a stock photo or what it was. So now I've even gone as far like the last 2 or 3 videos because somebody said that's not even your, I forgot which video it was. Oh, it was the pizza. That's not even your pizza. Well, if you watch the video, when I take it out of the oven, we put it over on the wooden thing. That was the exact pizza. So now I've even gone as far as like the Starbucks thing where the video I put out today, like I even showed me spraying the whipped cream on there and putting the pumpkin spice on there. Just, I mean, it's crazy how to do that, but I'm even trying to show that now so that you know when you watch one of my videos, it's legit and it's exactly what I was telling you to do. But yeah, I think, well, I mean, somebody even says it's AI generated, but I mean, at least use the right photo. I watch all those channels you mentioned, and one who is not a keto cook but has great recipes, which I convert to keto. Mandy in the Making. I found you through Chris. Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, I haven't watched Mandy in the Making, so good. I have to check that out. Yeah, Chris, yeah, I made Chris like early on when I was doing videos, and I had done a few, and I came across Chris's carnivore mashed potatoes. And so I did those for a family get together. I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving maybe, or may have even been before that, but I'm like, I was nobody at the time. Chris was already, he was already pretty big, but I'm like, look, even if nobody but my family, in the future, a couple generations down, if nobody else watches this video, I got to do this video to make these potatoes just to show everybody that it can be done and how great it was. And so I did that video, and I think his mom or dad might have commented first, and then he commented on it like, thanks for doing it. And I don't know, I had maybe 1,500 people watching at the time or whatever. And so then me and him kind of became friends after that. So anyway, he's awesome, and you can always trust his recipes for sure. Let's see. I'm afraid my tent won't turn out because I don't have a yellow mixing bowl. That ain't gonna turn out. No. It'll work no matter what color mixing bowl you got, but the yellow mixing bowl just makes it sweeter. Seriously though, I'm mostly carnivore at the moment, but you're so entertaining. I enjoy your videos. That's awesome. Well, that's a great compliment because if you're carnivore and you're watching my stuff, because I don't do much carnivore stuff, like I said, other than that bread, the bread's pretty close. But I appreciate you watching. And if there ever was a time like you're on carnivore and you say, "Well, I really need a dessert," at least you got this one. You don't go back to some crappy dessert with a ton of sugar in it. So you got my recipes for a backup if that ever happens. So that's awesome. Try the Kaizen brand, no spike for me. Okay, minimal spike. All right. Our dog is usually ready and waiting for me to drop something, but even if she's somewhere else, she comes running if she hears oops. Bonnie, I think he comes running. I think he can hear a crumb hit the floor. Hey, what do you do with all your test fails? Do you eat them anyway? I hate to waste food. I probably eat it no matter what it tasted like. Yeah. Yeah, 90% I will eat it. Some of them just come out so bad, like particularly the first or second time I do them. Like the what was the one? Now the bread was pretty bad in the beginning. The keto honey, and I think I showed a picture of it where it was like a brick, and it was like tan, and I mean it was nasty. So even with that, I made it into a sauce. I mixed it with something, made it into a sauce. But yeah, so 90% of the time I'll eat it even if it is bad, and that kind of gives me ideas too on how I can change it. Like, okay, well, I need to add, a little bit more of something to it, or so. Yeah, I don't like to waste food either. So yeah, I'm the guinea pig. I usually end up eating that stuff. So YouTube recently has been frowning on anything keto. Yes, they have. Not yet. I'm gonna find you though on Facebook. Yeah, there's a link down there. All my videos. It's got the social media stuff, and there's the it's Southern Keto, Carnivore, Low Carb Tribe, and the links down there in the description of that group too. Hey everybody, hit the thumbs up and push my algorithm. Yes, yeah, give me a bunch of thumbs up, y'all. Come on now, it don't cost you nothing. Just hit that thumbs up. Just love your channel. Happy birthday. Love how you're so entertaining, but you nail it where you make it makeable. If you get what I'm saying. Yep. Well, that's one thing, because it's fine to have 86 ingredients and be able to put together, a recipe that takes you 2 hours, but who's going to do it? So I try to make good recipes that are easy, that everybody can follow. Even if you're just starting to cook, I try to put enough, which I got a lot of flack for in the beginning, but now I just don't care if, I try to explain every little thing because I feel like the mistakes I made along the way might help somebody else not make that same mistake with the recipe, if that makes sense. So I try to explain everything, not over explain it, but explain it to where, well, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to do this, or I need to do this, or whatever, or I can get this ingredient here, or whatever. So I try to make it entertaining and easy. The recipe is easy anyway. So I always have a 4-day weekend. I'm retired. Good for you. And you're my neighbor up north too, in North Carolina. Delilah, got to run now. Great post. Thumbs up, everyone. Thank you, Delilah. Thumbs up. Have a good night. Erna, Juliana Primo, got you from Chris Cook in Nashville. Look forward to your recipes. Can't wait for holiday recipes. Southern Keto style. Yes. Juliana up in Raleigh. Juliana, I am working with somebody in Raleigh right now. I've got a cocoa pebble recipe that everybody's asking about. But I've got somebody in Raleigh, North Carolina I'm working with for one of the ingredients for that recipe. So I want to work with somebody in the Carolinas. And so we found each other. And so anyway, that's going to be pretty cool. That's coming up. But anyway, she's from Raleigh. For your Facebook, can you join it or just like or favorite? I don't see join anywhere. So the Facebook, yeah, just a regular Facebook, you can just like the page for Southern Keto. But there's also a link down there for the Facebook group, which is Southern Ketos. Let me get the exact name right. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let's see. Y'all, I'm sorry. I got a lot of comments y'all to respond to on my videos today, so I'm going to get to that after this. It is Southern Keto's Keto, Low Carb, and Carnivore Tribe. So I don't even know why I do this. You can't see that. But anyway, Southern Keto's Keto, Low Carb, and Carnivore Tribe, private group by Southern Keto. And it's got a picture of like avocado. It says keto diet. It's got some almonds and some eggs and some steak on there. But that's the private group where you can go in, where you can actually post. You can post pictures. You can post recipes. You can post questions or anything in there. And it doesn't show up on your personal Facebook page. If most of my friends and family is not keto, so they don't see the stuff. So you can go in and join that, and it's a private group, so you just have to request membership, and I'll go in and approve it. But the regular Facebook page, yeah, you just like or favorite that. Yes, that's how I found Chris too. Made half a batch of potatoes. I do love my cauliflower mash, so I go for easier. Yep. Yep. That carnivore mashed potato is a little, well, it's a lot more involved than what I normally do, but I think it's totally worth it. And his recipes are totally worth it. I made the bread recipe. I made the Big Mac. I made his hamburger bun recipe for my Big Mac recipe that I made, because I hadn't come up with a good bread at the time, and I don't think there's one better out there than his carnivore buns. And then I made several, and his are always worth the effort if you want to take the extra time to make them, especially those potatoes. I mean, that's like, I can't make any other ones now because my mom tried them. She couldn't tell a difference in those and regular mashed potatoes. So like, anytime she's coming, those are the ones I got to make. Now, if I'm at home, we all like the cauliflower ones. I'll make some good cauliflower ones, and so we'll do those. But like the family gatherings, I got to do the carnivore mashed potatoes. So that's just a staple now for my family get-togethers. But yeah, cauliflower mash is awesome. And like I say in a lot of my my recipes, if you take the cauliflower and just start it first, either in a little bit of oil or with nothing in the pan, and just dry fry it for a little bit. Just make sure you get all the moisture out of it. It takes a lot of that cauliflower taste out too. If you either fry it or dry fry it and get it, a little bit brown or whatever before you start adding anything to it, that really makes a difference in cauliflower rice, in my opinion. I always cut recipes in half the first time I try them, so I don't waste as much if I don't like it. Yep. I missed that part. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you. Yes. Tomorrow's my birthday. So just a few more hours. Yes, I definitely appreciate when you explain why you do or don't do this or that in your recipes. Very helpful. Thank you. Do the same. XN says, I don't know Chris. Is his channel just Chris? Yes, Chris Cooking Nashville. Chris Cooking Nashville. Yep, there you go. Yeah, and just tell him I sent you, because a lot of the people that are in this chat right now found me through him. And so it'd be kind of cool to return the favor that you found him through me. So that's awesome. But yeah, he's like a wizard in the kitchen. I mean, he takes stuff that you would never, I mean, when I did those mashed potatoes, I'm like, there is no way that this is going to work. But I was so intrigued by it. And then I watched, I think, because he was new to me at the time, but I'd been watching Wes, Highfalutin Low Carb. And I think he tried the potatoes first. And I saw that and I'm like, well, if he likes it, because he's legit. I mean, if he doesn't like something, he usually cooks good recipes, I think, because he knows which ones are going to be good and which ones are not. But he's done some videos where he's like, this is junk. Don't eat it. But when he made those potatoes, I'm like, All right, well, I'm gonna try this. I don't like it. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. And I mean, it blew me away. And when my mom tried it, and I made my brown gravy um, recipe, and I put the brown gravy over those potatoes, and lights out. She's like, because I made her try, because I always make her potatoes when she comes, and I don't have to do that anymore with that recipe. So um, I'm telling you that some of his recipes are involved, but it is worth the effort if it's something that you want to, if you something you want to make, and if you watch it and you're like, yeah, I can do that, then they're all worth the effort for sure. But yeah, start with those mashed potatoes. I'm telling you. Yeah, and you're right. Once you make them, once you make them about 100 times, they don't take any time. That's right. Yeah. And the main thing with any of these, if it seems a little more involved, just make sure you have all your ingredients laid out first. Measure everything out. Have them sitting there, and that makes it a whole lot easier. That's an old French cooking technique. I mean, I'm sure it was before that, but like the French cooking, they call it mise en place, which is like everything in its place, I think is what it translates to. But you just have everything ready to go. And then that way, when you're going through it, you're like, bam, bam, bam. You know, and like Lynn said, 22 QCAT, once you make it about 100 times, it takes no time. And that's the truth. It does not. Marigold is good protein powder. Also, hemp protein powder and Sprouts Living Epic protein powder. So they can't have whey. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, hemp protein seems to work really well too. Hemp's one of those things, a seed, ton of protein. And that is a really good one, especially if you have any allergies or anything like that. Yes, black cocoa for Oreo. I have not. I had so much cocoa powder because I make so much chocolate stuff, and I've always bought the Hershey's Special Dark because they don't put any sugar or anything in it. And I have so much of that stuff. I'm waiting until I get done with that, and then I'm gonna order some of that Anthony's black cocoa powder because so many people have told me how good it is, and so I'm definitely gonna use that. Wes from Highfalutin is honest. That's what I love about him. Yes. Yep, he is. And y'all make sure you go in and tell him you want him to make my bread recipe. So I'd love for him to make it. If nothing else, just so I can watch it with him making. I mean, that to me is one of the coolest. That'd be one of the coolest things that could happen because I've always enjoyed his videos so much. So, not a huge mashed potato person. In the old days, it was twice baked potato for me. And unfortunately, to this point, I have not been able to successfully recreate a baked potato, but that'd be a Chris Cook in Nashville mission right there because I bet he could put some egg white powder and some stuff and make a mashed potato skin and make it crispy just like it's supposed to be. So that'd be something he's gonna have to try. He's got that technical wizardry. Let's see. Same that ended up doubling it later if I like it. Yep. Yeah, because there's a lot of recipes out there. Some, especially them. I've tried about all the styrofoam bread recipes. And anyway, Xtina, have a good night, everybody. Happy early birthday. Thank you so much. Xtina, I hope you have a great night. I appreciate you being here. Donna, making shrimp or chicken meat into pasta. I mean, who would have thought? Yeah, for real. I mean, the stuff he comes up with is just awesome. So I would have never thought of it. But now that he's done it, it's like, okay, now he's got me thinking about stuff like that. So that's really cool. Black cocoa is totally different. You'll be sorry you waited. That is what I've heard from so many people about this black cocoa. And so I got to try it, but I have a hard time. Like I got to use up what I got. That's the way we grew up. Like we didn't have a lot of stuff. And so we didn't waste anything. That's, you clean your plate. That was one of my earliest lessons. That took me a long time to break that because you always clean your plate. You don't waste nothing, and you use up every little thing. My nana, and I do this to this day. Like she would take her toothpaste, and when it gets down to the end of it, she had a little clip. Now I don't have the clip. I just kind of roll it. But she had a little clip that she put on there to go up the tube of toothpaste to make sure there wasn't a drop of toothpaste wasted. And so now I've kind of taken that same thing, and like I'll roll mine up to make sure I don't waste any toothpaste. And my wife's like, you should have got rid of that toothpaste 2 weeks ago. I'm like, I've been using it for 2 weeks and there was still some in there. So, anyway. So anyway, I got to use up my cocoa before I go and buy any more. Plus I don't have any room for it. I need to do a video one day just showing my cabinets, and y'all understand the struggle. I did a post a while back with my spice cabinet. So if you saw that, you know what I'm talking about. But my other cabinets are just like that. I got kitchen gadgets and appliances and stuff everywhere. So I should give Chris that challenge. Yes, make me a twice baked potato. Absolutely. Because yeah, like I said, if anybody can come up with the skin and the whole thing, I bet you, other than the skin part, he'd come up with a good. He'd be able to come up with that consistency. I'll put in a good word to Wes. He should make your bread. Thank you. I hope he does. That would be a great honor to me if he would do that. I'll tell Wes do your bread. I have to try making it. I get intimidated, but I'll try it, Juliana. Yeah, the thing about that bread is there's no weird ingredients. There's a psyllium husk fiber, which you can find in the grocery store. If your grocery store doesn't carry it, you can find it at like Walgreens or anywhere, or you can order it on Amazon. But everything else is pretty much, you don't have to worry because there's no gluten in it. So like, even if you never made your own bread, which I used to make bread too, and I was pretty good at it. But because there's no gluten in there, you don't have to worry about over mixing or anything. The main thing you got to worry about with the bread is just blending it enough to get all the little chunks of cream cheese broken up enough. And I struggled with that early on when I was trying to make it. And matter of fact, I got a video coming out probably in the next week or so, maybe Tuesday. I don't know yet. With 3 of my favorite things that we do with the bread. And so a lot of the footage in that was shot during our different experiments with different breads. So it wasn't the perfect bread recipe. It was like, this one's almost here, but we made French toast out of it or whatever. But you'll see the little white specks all in there. Well, when I finally perfected it, the biggest thing is just get all the chunks of cream cheese broken up as good as you can. Other than that, it's pretty much just mixing it and baking it. So it's really easy to pull off. Like I said, just have all the ingredients out there, and it's super simple. Just don't worry about mixing it too much. Just mix it till you get the cream cheese incorporated and get all the lumps out of it, and you'll do fine with it. What do you think about bamboo fiber? Bamboo fiber is one of those ingredients that I have not used. I think it's fine. I have not seen anybody do a glucose test with it, which is always something that I like to consider before I tell anybody to do anything with an ingredient. I like to know how it responds for if it's going to spike more people's blood sugar than not, then I don't like to recommend it. I think the bamboo fiber is okay, but there's a lot of the keto breads that you can buy off the shelf at the grocery store that add a lot of fiber to, a bread or whatever it is, just to bring the carb count down of the amount of carbs that get absorbed into your body. But the insulin response and the glucose response still is going to spike your blood sugar. Your insulin is going to spike and everything, even though that fiber is in there. So I would say if you try to make anything with it, just check it. Like I say, I really don't know if it has any effect at all on glucose or insulin, but I would definitely check the glucose And if it's an hour after you eat it and 2 hours after you eat it, it's always what I say to see how it's going to affect your blood sugar. And I would say if it doesn't, then go for it. And if you do that, let me know how it affects you. I'd love to see some testing. With people that are trying the recipes with that to see how it works. The biggest problem I have with it is it's not always available. I know you can get the oat fiber pretty readily, and I think you can trade the two out for each other. But I have seen posts in keto groups and stuff like, oh, I can't find bamboo fiber. I can't. So, once the insulin question's answered and the blood sugar question's answered, then how available is it? Because that's another thing that I like. I want if you see a recipe of mine that you want to make, I want you to be able to go out and get all the stuff to make it as easily as possible without having to order 22 different ingredients to do it. And it might not be available, and then you have to wait, and then you're scratching your head like, well, what in the world did I buy bamboo fiber and Care Bear fur and all this stuff for? I can't even remember now. And then you forgot the recipe. You can't make it, where you could have had a favorite if it was stuff that you could easily get to. So that's always something I consider also. So I would say it's fine as long as you're okay with it, your blood sugar's okay with it, your insulin's okay with it, and you can find it. I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's just not. It's probably. I'll never say never, but it's probably not something I'm going to use. At least a lot. Lizette says, Victor, you are the keto man. Thank you. A lot of eggs in the recipe. Yes, there's a lot of eggs. But the crazy thing is the bread recipe is a crazy amount of eggs, crazy amount of pork rinds, but it doesn't taste like either. At least not to me. And I'll say my wife hates pork rinds. She can't even stand the smell of pork rinds. She loves that bread. She doesn't like eggy stuff unless it's plain eggs. She loves the bread. So that's why I'm pretty proud of that. And I would tell anybody too, if you're real sensitive, if you've got like a overly sensitive tongue and you can taste stuff like that. To me, it's just like a cohesive. I mean, it really tastes like bread to me. But you can throw a packet of yeast in there too if you can do yeast, and just to give it a little more bready flavor. But we like it just like it is. And I mean, I've had so many people try it that aren't even keto and love it. So nice lamp. Yes, thank you. I love this lamp, and it can change colors and everything. So it's pretty cool. So I didn't like that. But yeah, I thought that was a cool lamp. Thought it looked good back there. Ooh, I don't like that color. I don't like that color. That's better. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's see. I like the yellow couch too. My guess is Victor's in his finished basement. No, this is actually my office. This was my son's bedroom for a long time. And then he wanted to go into the bonus room above the garage so he had more space, because he does live streaming of video games and stuff. And he's a little entrepreneur. He's got some computer programs he's designing and stuff. So he needed all that space in there. And he's got a cool room. So that's where that like brick wallpaper came from, because we did it like a castle when he was real little. And he was all into Minecraft and castle type stuff. So that's where that wallpaper came from. And I love it. I think it looks so cool. And at the time I was like, well, can we do our bedroom like that too while we're at it? And that didn't fly, but now I got this in here. So see, this is my office. I got a lot of books over there and stuff. And this is where I do all my video editing and things like that. So yeah, that couch pulls out if we ever have anybody spend the night. We used to have another bed in here, and we don't have a whole lot of people coming to spend the night anymore from out of town. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna claim this because I need it. I need an office. So go-to flour is Victoria's Bamboo Fiber Blend 2.0. I use it for pretty much everything. I do not make her bread though. Yeah, that's the first time I saw it. I watched that recipe, and it's probably pretty good. It's just like I said, I like more things that are easier, I guess, to access. But I bet that is a good. I bet that is a good flour. Made the hot dog chili twice. Love it. Good. Yes, I love that hot dog chili. One day I'm gonna get the real recipe from the lady that made it. I think it's real close to hers, but there's still something that's off. But I'm gonna get it from her, and I'm gonna make it keto. So, bamboo fiber and oat fiber generally have about the same glucose response as whey protein isolate for me. Fibers only matter if you're doing net carbs. As a general rule, they react about the same as carbs and erythritol. Okay. They're also both about 20 to 30 bucks a bag. And that's another thing too. So so making a bread with that could get kind of expensive, I guess. But yeah, and if you're doing net carbs or if you're doing total carbs, that is a consideration too. Net's fine for me, but some people need to stick with total, especially in the beginning. A lot of people need to stick to total carbs, and especially if you got a lot of, and I did in the beginning too, this time around because I had some serious stuff I need to take care of. So, and then, kind of as my body healed itself, then could add back in a little bit more, and then just check your ketones and check your glucose, and just know where you're at because everybody's different. So it's like I always say, there's a spectrum on the low carb from carnivore to dirty keto, and somewhere in the middle, which is where everybody falls. But then from dirty keto to the standard American diet is also like the same. It's so far away. So anything in that little spectrum is a whole lot better than stepping over into that standard American. So, we were watching something earlier about the incidence of diabetes and obesity compared to the 1960s. I think in the 1960s, they said like 6% of people were obese or overweight, not morbidly obese. It was like 6%, 5 or 6%, whereas 60 now. And autism, all different conditions, diabetes. I mean, those things were almost unheard of at the beginning of, even 100 years ago, were almost unheard of, and now they're epidemic. And the only thing that's changed is the food. So, Brenda said, when I made my bread, the butter ran over and almost caused a fire. My pan is 9.5 by 5.5. Were you the one that made the comment about that? Because I figured it had to be a small pan. Because I have never had the butter run over, or if it's a different ingredient. 9.5 by 5.5. I'm trying to remember. Let me see. I got the kind of pan I used in my description, I believe. Let me go back and look at it. Let's see if we're using the right kind of pan. Let's see. Yeah, mine was a 9 by 5 bread pan. So, yeah, I mean, I've made that recipe. I don't know how many times, probably 20, 25 times total. I've never had butter running over. But if you do, try to use one stick instead of two. Really, the only reason that I did 2 sticks to begin with is just so that if you cut it, you could either put it in right in the pan, like to make Reubens or grilled cheese sandwiches or whatever, and not have to butter the bread. Um, but I've made it since with one stick to test it to see if I liked it better or not. I like the two sticks better myself just because it's easier when you're making sandwiches like that. But one stick works great. So if there's too much butter in there, then I just haven't seen it. But yeah, definitely go to one if butter ran over and you're using the same size pan I did. Oh yeah, Sherry, that is wallpaper. I mean, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, man, this stuff looks great. I think so. We loved it at the time, and I love it even better now. I think than he did because he got out of that. He got out of that little Minecraft phase pretty quick. Started playing other stuff, but um, let's see. For me, the VKK flour 2.0 is more like a white flour. It was my go-to for the pizza crust, but not anymore. Southern Ketos is the best. Do you know that guy? Well, I appreciate that. I bet that pizza crust is good. But yeah, I think that one that I make is super easy and super. We make that once a week now. So I'm getting commercials in the live too. Yep, I'm sure they're putting them in just due to the length though. We've been going for 2 hours and 11 minutes now, so YouTube's gonna get their money. So they're gonna put commercials in. But if you miss anything, I've got it set to post the replay. So if you happen to miss anything that you were interested in seeing, then just go back afterwards and you'll be able to look at it, hopefully without the commercials. I like the dirty keto. Seems like it'll be easier to do long term. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about the real dirty keto is all the processed ingredients, like the off the shelf bread. Some of the things that say keto, but they've got gluten in them. There's just a lot of real. There's a lot of real processed stuff out there that I just don't think is good for you. I'm a believer in the closer you can get to the way it originally came out, with as minimal processing as possible. Like almond flour is fine. I don't feel like almond flour is processed. You can make it at home. You take a bunch of almonds, throw it in the blender, grind it up, and you got almond flour, right? But adding a lot of extra ingredients to stuff just to bring the carb count down, and you got 30. There was a bread the other day that somebody said, well, instead of making your bread, just buy this keto bread. And so I listed the ingredients out on the comment. I'm like, hey, but it had 31 ingredients in it, and half the stuff you couldn't pronounce, don't know what it is, but you got a lot of seed oils in there. They're just inflammatory. But hey, whatever works for you. Like I said, anything, even dirty, lazy keto, as they call it, or whatever, is a whole lot better. I mean, 100 times better than standard American diet. So if that's what, and I mean, I'll get those breads and stuff too. I used them in that cream chip beef recipe because it was easy, and I wanted to try that bread because everybody raved about it, and it was probably the best one I have found, ingredients wise and taste wise. So that was kind of cool to find. But I'll use stuff like that, easy and convenient. But most of the time I eat really simple stuff, and then I do these recipes and try to make those as simple as possible too, using real ingredients. So anyway, that's I would say whatever low carb spectrum, wherever you're at on that spectrum, whatever works best for you, go for it, because it's 100 times better than anything else you can do. I get many batches of my flour blend with the fiber though. Okay. So yeah, I have to look at that flour blend. I just didn't know if there was any odd ingredients in there other than that bamboo fiber or not. I have a small pile of it. We do the biscuits and make my own gravy too. I bought a single bag of bamboo when she first put it out. It was so hard to get, so I bought some for him. I think in spite of it being a wheat type bread, I'm going to give yours a whirl. I'll start with half recipe. I'll take a pic and put it in the Facebook group. That sounds good. Hey, and if you go in the Facebook group, there's been a couple people that have made them like in mini loaf pans, the air fryer. There's a lot of variations on there. So I've got my recipe, and then people have been able, to experiment with that same recipe and make half batches. The air fryer was really cool, and she used a half batch, or she made 2 mini loaves, I think, in the air fryer. So yeah, go in there and check it out, and you'll get some good variations on it. And it's really cool that people are testing it out, so that, if you want to make a half batch, you know how it's going to turn out. The cooking times and everything, everybody's been real great in this group about posting what they did and how it turned out. So yeah, it's kind of a wheat type bread. It's more like an artisan bread. But yeah, definitely it's not a white bread. It's not like a sandwich bread like that. It's good, and it's filling too. So that was another thing I want to do, is make it where you could have a meal, or you could have a sandwich. You could, have put the bread on, put a bunch of meat on, and you got a full meal right there in a sandwich. So, and I think I accomplished that. So pretty happy with that. So I guess what I'm doing feels dirty compared to carnivore. I like the real food too. Yeah. I mean, anything feels dirty compared to carnivore, really, especially that lion diet where it's just meat and salt and water. But some people need to do that to heal different things. So that's the cool thing about low carb. There's so many ends of the spectrum, and everybody's in there, and we're all together, really. So we're all eating the proper human diet in one variation or the other. So it's good. Let's see. I've never had a problem getting the Zimmerman. It's the only one I would use. I think it's much easier to get now. So that's that bamboo fiber. I made the one for the Eichhorn. Yes, the Eichhorn. Yeah, that was a big thing there for about a minute. I haven't tried the one she replaced with the Eichhorn. I don't intend to. She tried to pass. Yeah. That wheat. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. You throw a bunch of fiber in there, and you still got the wheat in there. Still gonna have an insulin response. You're still gonna have a blood sugar response. So, all right. It's been 2 hours and 17 minutes. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. But I know y'all have put some comments on this video I've got to get to. Hope y'all are enjoying that Starbucks pumpkin spice latte video. Hope you make that over the weekend, especially if you got a long weekend. For most of you, it's going to be that iced version. For me, it's going to be that iced version, except tonight, because like I said, I got stuck in a hailstorm outside, got rained on, soaked to the bone. So I got this hot coffee tonight, but hopefully for the rest of the weekend, that don't happen anymore. We can enjoy this Labor Day weekend and have some cold coffees and get to hang out outside and have some fun. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Hey, thank you, Lynn. Thank y'all. Psyllium husk. Yep. Psyllium husk is good stuff. Thank you, Lynn. Happy birthday. Thank you for an entertaining evening. And hey, thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate it. This is a whole lot of fun. That's why I decided to start doing this. I was going to try to put out another a video, but I had so many people email and comment and everything that y'all really did enjoy it, and I really enjoy it. So I want to keep doing it every Thursday night. Hope y'all show up for it. You never know what's going to happen, so just come in. I've had a couple people say they might want to pop in and maybe do a live stream with 2 of us in different places or whatever. So I gotta figure out this whole live streaming thing, figure out how to show my screen so I can do a few more things that I want to do on here too. Go over some articles, break down some studies that are crazy, and just have some fun. So listen, I appreciate all y'all being here. And if you hadn't, join that Facebook group, the private group down there. I'll be going through and approving a bunch of people tonight. answering all your comments on YouTube. And so yeah, y'all do that, and make sure you watch that pumpkin spice latte. Even if you don't like pumpkin, you can make it without it. And even if you don't like coffee, you can make it without it. I don't know why you wouldn't like coffee, but there's people out there that I have found that do not like coffee. But you could leave the espresso out of it and add in some different flavorings and stuff like that. But the base of it is what you want. And you do the pumpkin without the coffee. So anyway, well, listen, y'all have a beautiful evening. Hope y'all have a great Labor Day weekend. And look for my video Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is. It is a no-bake pumpkin cheesecake, because it's pumpkin week on Southern Keto, so I had to do another pumpkin recipe. So yeah, it takes about 12 minutes or so to do. You probably got everything you need already, especially if you're making this pumpkin spice latte recipe. You're going to have a little bit of pumpkin left over. So what you do with it is make the 10-minute, 15-minute no-bake cheesecake pumpkin. And yeah, y'all enjoy it. Make some good bread over the weekend too. And I'll see y'all next Thursday. And I'm hoping I'll see you in the comments on these other videos. So y'all have a good night. Thank y'all so much. We'll see you later. Happy Labor Day.